online. So the calculator is from Desmos.com. So the link is just www.desmos.com/calculator, or you can click the link on the Canvas page. It will take you right here. So once you're at this calculator, it looks like this. You can see the graph. You can see the place over here to the left where you would enter stuff in. The add button has different things you want to add. So I guess best to summarize it would be if you want to add data, you want to add a table. If you want to add an equation, that's an f of x expression. So basically, if we want to enter some data, we're going to go ahead and add a table, and we would enter the data. I'm going to use the data from your homework to show you a couple of things about the windows on here, because it doesn't necessarily zoom automatically for you, or I just haven't used it enough to do that. Okay, so I'm going to use the data from example 2 of the lesson 2.5 note guide. And I'm going to say that I entered the data as it looked, meaning I used the entire year number as my x value and my year. So 1995, 97, oops, and of course, that did not work. So 1997. Okay, and as you can see, since these went sequentially by 2s, it kind of caught on to my pattern. And so it followed that pattern as I finished entering the data. Now I'm going to enter the average cost of the movie ticket. So this is all from the data table in the note-taking guide. So if you're wondering where I'm getting these numbers, these would be given to you in a problem about the data and graphing the data and finding the linear regression equation for it. All right, so here is our data table. Okay. If you just wanted to see the data on the graph, it's already on the graph, but notice that we don't see it. Notice if I click on my graph, I can slide it left and right. Okay. And if I scroll with my mouse or I push the minus button, it zooms in and out. Okay. But my numbers here, my numbers in my X column are really huge. 1,995, 1,997, etc. Whereas the numbers in my Y column are really small, 4.35, 4.59 for the cost of the tickets. So I want to show you that you can set the graph settings yourself based on the data. So when I look at this data, I want my X values to go from like maybe 1990 to like 2000 something, so that I capture the 1995 to the 2007. For my Y values, I want them to go from maybe 4 up to like 7 or 8 so that I see the Y values. So over here on the graph where the wrench is in the top right-hand corner, you can click on the graph settings. Don't change your grid. You want graph paper. But for the X-axis, if you click right here, you can change the smallest value and the largest value on the X-axis and what they're scaled by as the step. So I want the smallest value on my X-axis to maybe be 1990, and then the largest value to maybe be 2010. And I'm going to have it go by steps of, let's see, 1 is probably the best because I want to see each year in between. So I'll keep it steps of 1. Now on the Y-axis, I want to see from like 4 up to maybe 8 by 0.5 maybe I want it scaled. And I'm just going to press enter. And I'm going to click on the settings to turn that off so I can see my data. All right, so now you can see my data points on the graph. See, if I click on the points, it even tells you what the data point is, okay? And I can click on them to turn them off. So this is the data. You can see it almost looks like a line. It's not exactly a straight line. It definitely has a positive and strong correlation. So now the question is, how do I get this online calculator to give me the regression equation for this linear set of data? So I'm going to go back up here to the left corner to add item. And this time I want to add an equation. I could type in my own equation, but I don't know the linear equation, so I really want it to figure it out. So I basically want a y equals mx plus b equation, but I want to tell this program to use data from my calculator to kind of, or from my table to kind of figure it out. So I'm going to type in y1, and when I typed 1, it automatically made it a subscript. And then I typed the little tilde, the little curvy line, because we're approximating it. And then I put m, just like y equals mx plus b, so the slope is m, times x1. Again, I'm using y1 and x1 because those are coming from the charts, and these are their directions on how to do it, specific for this online calculator, plus b. Okay. Now you see that when I finish that, I'm going to go ahead and close this bottom keypad so that we can see this. There's a line right here on my graph, and they built this regression line. You can see it fits the data very well. Doesn't cross through every data point because the data is not perfectly linear, but very close. And you can see the information that you need right up here in the top left. You have your R value, okay, 0.997, so it has a very strong positive correlation. You have your M, which is your slope, 0.22. And you have your B, which is your y-intercept, negative 430.36. So this can do all of that for you. Once you have your equation, you would write it out with the M and the B in the correct location. So for this function, you would write y equals 2.2x plus negative 430.36. I'm just using the M and the B to write the linear equation. From that point forward, you should be able to use a regular calculator to plug in anything and find what you need. Notice here you can also click on points and see along the line how it changes. So you can see in the year 2001, I would expect $5.57 for a ticket. Okay, so you guys can use this if you don't have a graphing calculator at home. That should be enough explanation. They have their own explanation on this site right here about how to do all of this with some moving pictures and telling you more things that you could do with this. But I think what I've given you is enough. And there are links to the actual calculator as well as the website's instructions on our Unit 1 linear function Canvas web page. And there is a link to that page if you don't know where to find it in the Unit 1 module at the top or on the announcement that I sent out today about this. Thank you.